I'm very curious to see where we actually land on that. We've got the veto lined up and ready to go, and it feels pretty stock standard here. I don't see anything that's really being thrown as a curveball. Maybe that ancient ban from MIBR, but other than that, Overpass, Nuke, Vertigo, looking good.
Yeah. I mean, all those maps, a slight variation on the previous veto that we saw, but it's, most of the same maps besides Overpass being picked out from Ironblood rather than Vertigo's, which they picked out in the last series. They left that up to a decider in this series, and interesting decision by them, judging by the fact that they did get kind of smoked on that map last time they played in MIBR. Nonetheless, maybe they could get that CT side start rather than the T side start and get things moving. Either way, moving into Overpass. We are going to see MIBR kicking things off on that CT side. They got themselves a little bit of utility, but what I'm more concerned with is what Ironblood have in store right now. It's a P250 and Shane, who's over towards that A side, trying to force these early info players off the line, trying to get some aggressive control and maybe just cause a couple of these stacking up B players over on MIBR to start forcing rotations.
Yeah, but they're not biting. Joda's got all of this water control. He's going to watch this cross as well. 4 players on this B bomb site that should indicate that they've got a tell here. They've got even a flash lined up for Henny. Or from Henny, rather. So they actually don't get all the information that they wanted. Peek in from Turtle gives away no information. But it's really up to Droid to sell a little bit of a fake here. Nothing being bidden. A single rotate, but still 3 men on the side. Smokes up, and we're in.
Already aggressing in here. They didn't try and go towards the A-bomb site, in which they had so much space. Instead, they're going to walk into this stack, and it's going to get absolutely shut down. No flash on the entry right there, so you can see how easy this is to hold for MIBR. They have no trouble plucking these players apart. And again, I was hoping that maybe Ironblood off the back of George's deep positioning in bathrooms would call in for a rotate. Guys, we'll switch up the game plan on the pistol, but that's not what we got.
Yeah, very interesting. I mean, I was expecting for Droid to maybe sell it a little bit more. They got a single rotate off, but it wasn't actually enough to sell anything because as soon as he doubles back, I think that the tell was completely given away, especially with them jumping the gun. And again, all of that short control early really paid dividends for MIBR to get the pistol. The shots were clean enough. There was definitely room for Ironblood to get back into that, but MIBR take care of business early on to get themselves the pistol.
Yeah, I really liked the game plan there early. I feel like they needed maybe a plan B or maybe just extra flashbang to really claw their way in, because they certainly have the firepower to go for some of those, maybe not dry executes, but with only one flash, you're only going to get past so many players here unless you land the instant Glock headshots, and that's just not what they brought in the opening pistol. In the second pistol round, at least for Ironblood, maybe not the case for MIBR, as they have all the weaponry in the world. They're going to have to make do with only Glocks here, and they've moved past the Molly. Maybe they're just trying to get in towards long quickly. Now my question is, are they being heard right now? Are the footsteps being noted? It looks like Henny's reacting to this.
Henny and Vieira, but it's Henny with triple. Beautiful stuff from the AWP. You want to get this money racked up as soon as possible. We may have ourselves an ace on our hands, and it is the eco ace for the veteran on this MIBR squad. He's sitting pretty with a cool 6.05k in the bank. Oof. Pull out the AWP if he wants. He does. He's got the head armor to boot. I mean, he's loving life. We're heading into round 3.
Yeah, unfortunately there for Ironblood, that's probably the last play that you want to just feed MP9 kills.
100%.
You just gave him so much cash. He's going to have the AWP out already round 2. And obviously there's not a lot of support behind this. A couple of FAMASas and MP9 Turtle's hands. But still, if he's able to just find a quick opening pick and get the ball moving on the defense, it's going to be very tricky. I mean, alongside that, like you said, a veteran player here in Henny, you can only imagine that he's going to feel very comfortable working out around this A-bomb site, trying to take these aggressive angles, even if he's left without a lot of help here. But Snav going to open up proceedings. A little bit of help from Joda boosting up exit right into his crosshair.
Maybe a little bit of mistiming there on the boost. I mean, they heard the smokes being diffused, and that early short control was definitely in Ironblood's control, but they do get punished. Maybe a little bit of over-eagerness from MIBR after their hot 2-0 start. And Ironblood begin to congregate outside the monster tunnel. Maybe a couple flashes here to fight against Turtle. They need this opening.
They're just going to claim it instead. Their nice headshot from him. Flashman goes up towards short side as well. Joda starting to pull the pin back in favor of MIBR, but there's a whole lot more that they have to call through. Perfect crosshair placement from Intra. Team kill. Oh no, Droid. He took down his teammate. A bit of problems here, and now it is up to the veteran to pull off a 1v3 clutch. He finds a first, but Dare delivers the trade. And not only does he find that trade, but his reward is a nice up in his hands as Iron Blood, they do claim the first round.
Lots of damage being done from MIBR, but at the end of the day, the trades were just that much better from Iron Blood. You could definitely see the protocols were set into place. They weren't scared that there was a second player in water. They weren't frazzled once a team kill came through. Dotting their I's and crossing their T's are Iron Blood, and they secure their first round. Again, as I said before, a lot of damage being done. It does relegate Droid to a Mac 10 and Intra with a Galil. But the prime AWP for Dare is out to play, and he's early on the board with a kill on a Joda. Snap trying to pincer in from Connector. He's got an early 5v3 advantage for Iron Blood. They're looking really, really clean here to start out round number 4.
That they are. Great start. Great kickoff here for boys over at Iron Blood. Dealing with some of this early aggression on that A side is exactly what they need to do. They need to force a little bit of MIBR's respect. That's something they didn't do in their previous matchup, where MIBR's proactivity was just working out in every occasion. This time, they might be forced quickly to maybe hold back, play a little bit more of a passive game, and that could set some real stagnation on your CT sides. They are making a right gamble. This is kind of classic MIBR fashion here. Whenever things go wrong on the early days on the CT side, it's a very simple way to play out these situations, but it can be effective if you play your cards right. Right now, I said they were correct, but it looks like they're gambling over towards that B bomb site, and if Iron Blood continue to walk up A, they're going to have themselves a free bomb site.
In all honesty, I think this would probably be the best situation for MIBR. I don't see them necessarily holding on with 2 FAMAS. FAMI. The age-old question of the plural of FAMAS. But, anywho, a second round surely confirmed here, and an eco on the cards for MIBR. I mean, it's just, you're completely right. They really need to earn their respect of MIBR, our Iron Blood, and I think these 2 rounds are definitely, with just how those openings have gone, they certainly will have had a little bit more respect to give in rounds to come.
What I really like in here is Dare looking good to kick things off with the op. Not only has he already found 1v1 clutch, but the follow-up, the entry with the AWP is so phenomenal. This guy's a very proficient offer for this team. And so when he's able to do damage specifically on this T side and get activated, it's going to be very much so welcomed. Great kickoff for him so far.
Yeah, you want those stars to continue to shine brightly very early on and carry that momentum, especially on these T sides, man. It's really turned into a CT meta, a CT heavy meta on Overpass in particular. And we've seen it time and time again that there could just be huge snowballs. And so at this point, Iron Blood, they need to take all of these rounds as quickly as possible, especially when MIBR's economy is just so volatile right now. A third definitely on the cards here, but they're trying to set up these FAMASs for success with a boost up on to sign, but Iron Blood is playing this very, very passive.
Again, just making sure to keep that slow default here. They have a couple different, game plans when it comes to the way that they're defaulting it out. I like how they're playing out this T side so far. Might be a little bit one-dimensional, or maybe too strategical here if they're sticking to their guns. Like we said on that pistol round, it looked like they had a lot of info, and maybe they could have made a mid-round reaction, but if it's working out for you once these guns come out, it might just continue to do so here. As this time again, they might walk into a pretty hefty setup here on the speed bomb site. I'm looking at the mosses. There's one around the corner here. Exit as well has a 5-7 up close and short, so they gotta make him sing here as the flashes come on through B.
Ooh, great flashes there set up by Joda. And they get stopped in their tracks, but they're still moving up. And Dare with a beautiful entry. Intra chiming in as well. Bomb site's been secured. Joda's still here, but he's just got a USP. And I say that he gets one on the formerly dinked up player, but Snav takes care of things immediately after. And Vieira's just considering the save here. Any save in this situation is a good one. Henny trying to escort him out. But very well handled again from Ironblood. You're starting to see these entries from Dare are not the easiest shots to hit, but he's delivering.
Yeah, I can't believe that he was the one that kind of took the first contact right there. Just so happened to be the case, but again, that requires some very fast reactions. Not only are you competing up against the rifle that you're up against, but 4 other teammates that were running at him first with the rifle. He's the one that claims the kill. It does show a lot of impressive movement, that he is willing to be a part of the pack alongside the rest of his team, and they certainly did need him there because he took down the FAMAS.
Yeah, very clean stuff early on from the AWP of Ironblood, and we haven't necessarily seen the same from the counterpart, although he did keep it close in that first gun round. He hasn't had the funds to actually reinvest. It's just a FAMAS for him this time around. But the fact of the matter is the buys are out. 3 M4s on the cards, even with the current state of affairs in this season of ECL. And early aggression being immediately pulled away. Triple nade setup from Ironblood, not necessarily netting them anything this time around. But again, this slow crawling default here from Ironblood, it's been working for them for sure. It's how, and now's really the question of how does MIBR try to break this kind of stupor that we're sitting in here.
See if they can the ball moving here. He's getting set up for a lot of these entries as well. As you can see, getting a little boost there quickly to try and catch him off guard. A lot of A4s out in play. Interesting to see that as the switches are being made. Didn't think it was the most effective update, but I've quickly learned my lesson. It is kind of getting to me as of recent.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of people understanding that the A4 has its benefits, and also the long distances are actually medium plus, and it may come back to bite a lot of people if they continue to use the A1S. And looks like MIBR is choosing A4 this time around, but Vieira immediately decimated in the bathrooms. Henny as well goes down, trades back and forth, but still we lay in this 3v3. Joda's got his signature flank out on the board, and there's only 7 seconds remaining.
Oh, he's blocking him.
No, body blocks aplenty. Turtle, he's pushing in, gets the trades efficiently. I mean, Joda was such a thorn in their backside. Just that one kill immediately falling off. He's played that lurk to perfection. Sets up Turtle for success. 3rd round of the board for MIBR. 2 men alive. AWP recovered. Looking pretty good.
Yeah, that was a long-range duel right there from the A1S from Joda. Luckily, he had it back turned, because otherwise, I think that again, we could have seen some of the flaws, some of the issues with the damage fall off right there. But again, getting that signature flank off is so crucial. Like you said, it drops the bomb. It buys just enough time, honestly, for teammates to make the move and land the finishing blow in time. So great stuff from MIBR. They need to keep that going, though. They need to continue that success at the moment. Continue to pull things in their favor. Start to build some foundations, because even that round was very close. And again, with this nade setup, they go for it for another round in a row.
Setting up Snav to pop open the door. Short protocols working out. Turtle with the missed molly. We didn't see that.
It's always the missed mollies that get shown on the broadcast, isn't it? Poor guy. Flashbang.
Oh no.
That's a big oopsie right there. Snav. Is he aware in time? At least Bjorn's gonna find it and keeps his teammates safe. All of the mistakes, they're nullified at the moment as the rest of the team try to move out towards the monster. I think Shane gonna get blinded up, but does land the trade there. Pretty effective, but they're taking a lot of damage. And the rotations have arrived onto the scene very swiftly. Smokes down even further. Timing and bot that HE could catch even more damage as one's moved past him in the smoke. And it's all gonna walk into the crossfire. And MIBR shut that one down.
Yeah, those flashes that we were seeing MIBR throw regularly finally reap its rewards. It just stops Ironblood in their tracks. They see all this util that just gets thrown up in their faces immediately after. They're getting chucked out with more nades, more Molotovs, and they have nowhere to go. And at that point, how low the time has been going, that's when those slow defaults really come back to haunt you. You don't have any space to pull the ripcord and maybe abscond back to connector. You gotta commit, and at that point, they're all just so nestled at the bomb sites. Barrel, short, wood wall, everything coming up MIBR. And it's relegated Ironblood down to pistols. It's finally been quelled. And again, this pack mentality of Ironblood as they surge into the fountain position, trying to overwhelm another player, but Henny's got his sight lines down banana immediately.
He's going to take a more passive approach, but he's still got a lot of that bathroom coverage alongside the divider area, so it's not the end of the world by any means. He's still going to hold on to deep positioning. It's around the time that if you don't have a lot of that long support, you do kind of have to follow off these positions, because then you can start to get caught off guard here. But going to have a head-to-head versus Snav, and he takes the perfect angle. Not only that, he lands the collateral, more damage onto Shane. That nade might just finish him. Oh, down to 2 HP. Nearly catches him. But Henny going proactive once again. He's taking different fights. He's taking different angles. Hoping that more come his way to farm up another sweet, sweet eco round. Intra trying to get activated there. And he's going to start to land some heads. Only good for 2. It's 2 quick kills. But Intra going to grab himself an AK as his reward as well. As they slowly walk into Henny's grasp. This one soon to close here. They're the last man standing. With his maybe second weapon of choice. But just a scout here. Trying to get onto that AK. He can't grab it. Chase down, he will be finished off.
And that's the 5th round for MIBR. I mean, again, with that death ball mentality, you're really trying to look for an opener. But Henny shuts things down. Vieira with a quick double as well. A bit of timing, eluding Ironblood. But no matter, it felt like the cards were stacked up against them regardless. But enough is enough. Dare's got his AWP back out. AKs across the board. Economy looking hot to trot for the time being. I'm very curious. Again, another death ball down mid. Ooh. And they get that this is the difference, right? They get that opener onto Vieira, and this changes the complexion of the round. How do MIBR respond? Because Henny, he's still trained on this mid position. Finally Molotov'd off, but he's fighting for this line. He's fighting for it for dear life.
Smoked that molly off, and then he dove through it here. He's still holding off this angle here. Flashbang almost certainly flashing him off the line here, and that's when he has to fall off there. Great protocols from Ironblood to keep him at bay. Keep him kind of quiet when it comes to some of these actual investments, right? We know that he got that ace on the full eco, the Glock eco, so, you know, obviously having a great stat line right now, and a couple of those kills have been on gun rounds, but nonetheless, in a couple of these deep sight lines that Henny's been attempted in the divider angles, he's been kept at bay quite nicely.
Yeah, and you know he's one of those types of players that will try to change up the way he plays, try to be a little bit more proactive, and you see he's completely rotated on over to holding Monster, and with that comes a complete rotate of the rest of the personnel of MIBR. And so I think they've got a handle on this situation as Shane tries to burrow his way into the A side, and he gets another entry to open up this round.
Yeah, Shane finding some fantastic entries on this A-bomb site, and again, you could kind of get a classic MIBR save here. They tried to gamble a little bit of the resources in towards that B-bomb site, something that they'll often do when the man advantage doesn't swing their way. It's a very, very common call that MIBR have stuck with throughout the years. And it looks like that trend will remain true in this series as well, as they will fall on out here. And he's not able to pull that one back. He wasn't able to find any of the trades back, and so obviously overrun. Shane, the way that he's entering this A bomb site, it's very sacrificial, right? He's immediately just clearing out one angle. He knows his job, and he's completing it to perfection in a lot of these rounds.
Yeah, you can definitely see the protocols for Ironblood in that round just were that much mean. I mean, MIBR, once they had to give up the sideline from Henny, it felt felt like they had to resort to a very basic setup on the A bomb side. You play one truck, one APC, and you hope for the best, but that's where the execute comes out. That's where that slow crawl reaps its benefits from Iron Blood, and it elicits the save. So bullet check for MIBR, but at the end of it all, these defaults, more often than not, I have to say, are working in dividends for Iron Blood out the gates.
Yeah, it feels like once they do find an opener, it's very easy for them to close, and this one's going to definitely create some chaos. A labored spray right there, but BRN's going to be able to contain it in time, and on his fadeaway. Going to collect Snav as well. Nice little double entry right there. It is going to force their hand in towards his B-bomb site, so a very quick reaction attempted from Iron Blood. No way Dare goes through this smoke. That's too crazy. And Turtle, I'll make sure that sanity is restored.
Very quick double from Biera. But Droid trying to battle back here in this 5v2. 4v2, now turned 4v1. Droid the only member to get a kill on their respective squad against another one on a Henny. Henny damage here is great damage. CT economy is still a little fickle. But 3 men alive, AWP recovered, no problem. And a 6th on the board for MIBR. Marching and starting to build a little bit of more momentum here. That double from Biera was just so clean. The second on the fadeaway with the last 3 bullets or so. He had to hit every one, and it landed.
Yeah, that fadeaway kill was just the icing on the cake for the initial setup. Like I was saying heading into that run, I feel like if MIBR don't start it off the right way, it's pretty unusual that they're able to pull back these 4-on-5s, or at least in this series so far. So, I mean, another case of that here, and another case of some very rapid death balling it out towards that A bomb site here. They're trying to catch him Henny off guard, and in fact, they might have just slipped on by his crosshair. This is a great read from Iron Blood for how Henny's been playing out this A bomb site.
Oh, if he isn't careful, he'd just get absolutely blindsided. They're continuing to walk up Banana, and no sound cues being given over. But finally, I think a pin was pulled, and he's gotten another collateral in the bathrooms. Henny, he's trying to wreak havoc here. Another for Henny. Back and forth we go. But Dare finally trades, but that's where Biera strikes. Pushing from the long bathrooms, getting another 4v2 turn 4v1, and it's all up to Snab. All that control being taken, just being ripped away from him. He's got the A bomb site, but no bomb. What can he do in this situation here, Cole?
It's just about finding a couple exit kills, but he's getting close in from all angles, and as soon as he whips out utility, of course that's when Johto will strike and finish the job right there. That's a beautiful round, though, from Henny. I mean, again, timing, it couldn't have favored Iron Blood anymore, but that's that veteran sense that comes through just in time. He sees the timer ticking down a little too thin for there to be absolutely no presence on the map, so he starts to get a little bit inquisitive. He takes that space, and again, more collaterals landed, more multi-kills landed from Henny as well in this A bomb site. And you know how important it is for these A operators to have impact.
And just that little bit of stalling, it also prompted Biera to go a little bit more aggressive on that long flank. And it worked out wonders. Chota being a little bit inquisitive down in the short, gets a lot of information and sets up Biera. Triple for him. Eco, regardless, it's still a beautiful clip from the young former academy player of MIBR. And it's just relegated Iron Blood down to just Shane yet again. Easy in hand. You don't see that all too often on the T side. But again, 3 men up for MIBR. They're racking up kills, racking up money, and racking up rounds. Things are looking hot to trot for the Brazilians.
Yeah, that's an excellent round right there, that's for sure. MIBR really establishing themselves a foothold in the CT side, and honestly, BRN's doing some great work alongside that establishment. On these gun rounds, he has just delivered in massive ways. I guess that one less so a gun round, but more the fact that he started this game off, I believe, you know, hovering around 1 kill for quite some time, and now he's up to 11-4, nearly top in the charts at the moment. It is an incredible recovery, and it's kind of led to MIBR a lot of their success as of recent. So good stuff, and another one just plucked right through the smoke, man. He gets it every last round, and now timing Dare, just barely missing his mark, but he will not miss twice. Turtle gives him a second chance, and maybe a new lease on life as well.
Oh, there's room to breathe here. They can walk all the way up into the B bomb site. It's risky, but they've gotten the information, and they want to shimmy their way all on up, taking down that B anchor. And that's the kill they were looking for. Droid tapping out Biera out of this round. And now it's up to Joda. The only man left on the bomb site's got to stay alive if they want to actually prime themselves back into this round. Another missed Molotov by exit. And Joda, he's sneaking through the smoke. Oh my goodness, he gets one. How does he stay alive in this situation? Droid finally takes him out. And that's when exit tries to whip around with the crosshair. And it's a 1v1 now. AWP on AWP. And he creeping up onto the wood wall.
Shadow. Oh, but he still jumps.
Just too good, too fast. Another key 1v1 one out by Ironblood, and they've got their 5th on the board.
It's got to feel good for Dare to take down Henny on multiple occasions, right? I mean, that is something you can seriously smile about, whether this series goes your way or not. Again, Ironblood Roche, that's standing at 2-0 so far. They haven't taken any losses. They've been beating the teams that they should beat, and now there's not a lot of pressure in this matchup, right? I mean, MIBR, they're a roster with a whole lot of support backing them, so there's no shame in dropping to some of the veterans here on this team, but the fact that Dare's getting multiple clutches versus Henny, even in that one where I feel like Henny had every last angle, every last jump on him, it's so incredible. It's got to be good for the morale there, but Henny's going to get his revenge, at least on a Snav in this occasion.
Opening things up immediately. It's got to make them really question this connector presence, but Dare, on the other side of things, he's also very aggressive. They've got all this connector control, and now they've got short sandbags as well. They definitely have room here to get back into this round, unlike certain previous CT rounds. It's really got to prime him up, and there's another one being offered up. Dare clawing his way back into this round, and another B walkout from Droid. This has gone from bad to worse for MIBR. Where did it all go wrong?
Exit looking to pull things back here. Henny's right alongside him, so they have opportunities. Exit trying to cover out the sight line here, but Molly isolates them from each other here. But Exit forced out into a position where he's forced to fight, and he does succeed. Henny, I imagine he's been spotted out here, that they know that one player is locked in this position, and there is no escape. Another smoke recycled in towards the short side, and desperation starting to sink in for Henny. He shoots a couple of shots through the wall, one of them connecting finally. Dare's still standing on the bomb site, but bomb nearing that half tick mark, and no one's finally made the move, and then it's going to be BRN trying to open up proceedings. It leaves Exit left out to dry, and Dare gets it back to back onto Henny once again. Out-opping, out-closing, and maybe Ironblood looking to get themselves a 7th. The money is completely shot for MIBR.
We've talked about the momentum that MIBR needs on these CT sides. I'll tell you what, Joda is still a fledgling IGL. He's still learning the ropes on how to call for this squad. That's where you'd want to really suggest that, hey, we need as many CT rounds as we can possibly get. And Ironblood has done the hard work. They've done the damn they need. And now, this should be the layup. This should be the way you even up the half and go in sitting pretty with all the momentum in your court to close out your own map pick against one of ECL's favorites, no less. So, all the pieces in play for Ironblood out the gates. It's all about putting them together now.
Great opening flash right there. That's the exact way you wanted to kick off a round like this. Right, this could be the icing on the cake here for Ironblood. 8-7 half, and the current meta is so massive, but Bjorn will give it on back here. Finally, some revenging connector, as he's the one that gets spammed down. It's justice for Ironblood. But still, it's a 4-on-4 here, and still Henny tucked in right alongside the smoke, hoping to catch these players off guard. We're in bathrooms. Some back returns here, but Dare so quick on the op, and that's 3 rounds in a row where he's been able to take down Henny. An absolute stud, and Droid. Alright, I guess that one works as well. Jumping up on the headshot will collect as the rest of the members move in towards the A bomb site. It's where Exit and Turtle reside, but making sure to do their due diligence. They still have the utility to close out this 1v3, and Turtle, he doesn't have a lot left to stand in this round. He shouldn't be standing for too much longer as he closes in. Dare covers, and they will close it out. 8-7 on the half there in favor of MIBR, but still, I would say maybe even favorable for Ironblood.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I'm seeing in the AWP matchup, Dare's looking much more hot to trot. compared to Henny, and that just makes me excited. All in all, we've got an even half going into the CT side for Iron Blood, but we're going to take a quick little break, and when we come back, we'll have that second half of the first map of this best of 3 series between MIBR and Iron Blood.
And we are back here once again, and we're ready to hop into second half of play here very soon. As we can see, second half here, it's going to be Iron Blood on that CT side, and they're looking to continue off of what they just left off with. A nice little resurgence there towards the tail end, as MIBR wanted to walk away with that one, but instead are forced to maybe run on this T side here. They need some serious length. And right now in towards that B bomb site, Shane, he is going to get overrun, but there is some trades to be had. Snad needs to offer up heroic defense. There's a one-way smoke. Droid has a slight gap, and now look at this. There on the flank, he continues his great half here. He needs to find one last player in BR, and he will nail it from long range. The dualies, they cannot be underrated. They are so valuable.
Oh, this guy is having a hell of a game. Like, what a round to steal away from MIBR. I love the idea from the Brazilians with that on-the-fly, on-the-run execute onto the B bomb site, having basically 2 players buy utility and drop a single piece to 4 different players and just throwing it on the fly. And they still counteract that beautifully. Dare in particular with those dual Berettas. And we're looking at a situation where the momentum is really being jostled into the favor of Iron Blood. And now's their key opportunity to kind of continue this momentum and run away with this game.
Yeah, that was so impressive right there. The actual utility that was thrown out from MIBR, that's something that you have to work on right? Over time. You start to nail that one down, and the fact that, you know, Iron Blood, they just had the perfect reaction and perfect read with the fast flank there. That looks like a team that's playing with a whole lot of confidence up against a roster that maybe they shouldn't have confidence up against, right? MIBR should be the ones getting away with plays like that. You know, those little scrappy early executes that can overrun you, and that's not the case.
And now, playing with scraps or MIBR, trying to search for something, anything that might be given up from Ironblood. With these 3 MP9s, oh, I say that, 1 bell being rung, and a kill being converted. MP9 picked up for Turtle, and now Dare really gonna be hot under the collar, gets his first. Trying to rack up a little bit more, and now Droid's here to help out, chime in with the MP9 of his own, and it's just Joda. Crisis averted. Ironblood looking to get their 9.
A nice and clean work there to close, or at least that's how things should be. Joda probably wanting to go down at the end of the day just to get that cash reward. Droid rewarded as well with the 3K to close. And with how good Dare's been playing, knowing that you're going to be up against a pretty decent rifle round, I do wonder if it's worthy of an investment to just get Dare onto that up as soon as possible here and let that momentum continue to favor you here, because he's 18-8 right now. He's found big multi-kills. You're opping over on that A bomb site. You need every last tool to your disposal, and interestingly enough, I just checked, this is an Ironblood timeout.
Yeah, this is a key turning point in this game, and I completely agree. If you can actually flex the economic advantage that you have with the AWB on the board as soon as possible, I mean, we've seen the rewards that it could have potentially reaped for MIBR once Henny got his. I think that it could definitely work its wonders on the other side of the equation as well, but they opt against it. They want to be a little bit more savvy, keep the money on an even playing field across all 5 members, and instead just upgrade into an A4. I mean, again, with the changes, it's going to be a little bit more of a hefty investment from CTs these days. You don't have that buffer of the A1S to get you out of sticky situations. So it's all a very, you have to be very smart with your finances this time around. And instead of the AWP going aggressive, it's 2 rifles. Aggressive into Fountain.
Oh,
and Snap, 99 gets to line up 1. Exit helping out a little bit. But even trades definitely favor with this aggressive positioning for Ironblood here. Flashing as well from Droid.
Ooh, it actually allowed him to escape there somewhat safe. Henny almost had him on the exit, but it will be Intra being able to make his way out. Like you said, it's 1 for 1. It isn't all that bad considering you only lost an MP9 here. It's a worthy sacrifice for BRN, who's been a heavy hitter as well, and Dare completely blindsides Turtle there in connector, not expecting that, you know, maybe a 3rd player hanging around, is that the rest of the team probably saw that long fall off and was like, hey, I mean, connector, likely that it's free, but Dare completely catching him off guard. And now MIBR, again, not operating very well when it comes to wrenches thrown in their system early on.
The mid-rounding for Joda has always been a sore sight since his debut as an IGL at EPL. He really struggled in the mid-rounds, and that's why they they relied on Dust 2 a lot to satisfy, because it's quite an easy map to mid-round on. Overpass, now it's a different kettle of fish, and you can definitely see they've just resorted to a very execute-heavy style and try to see what sticks. Henny in to bat first.
Look at Walter. This is Crossfire, and Dare is keeping things so nice and contained. Oh, and he just runs right on past Joda. We'll be able to trade him out, but he's just left last man standing here. He's not able to have his impact in the round. He's not able to have his say at all. And that'll be closed out there. Not only that, Ironblood able to pick up a couple of guns on the way out. They're off the MP9s and onto the rifles here once again. Dare has already delivered his promises, even with the rifle, with a multi-kill again, so not even necessary that the op is brought out here because he's doing damage anyways, and he continues his great half into the second.
I mean, you just see all the needles that he's threading in connector, just really getting into the heads of MIBR. A hero AK for Joda early on, early short control as well. They want to take this sandbags fight as quickly as possible, and here comes that prime and ready AK. Doesn't get anything though. Shane with a beautiful double. Inter helping out as well, and this just a clean mop up from Ironblood. That's the cleanest looking 11th round you could ask for.
Perfect right there. Flawless. Everyone alive. Money starting to stack up. You got 5 rifles to hang on to for another round. Very little reinvestment as that round ended so quickly that not even a lot of utility was really thrown out early on in that round. So Ironblood just solidifying themselves a good CT side half. And again, like I've been saying here, Jota's the IGL. A big problem area has been some of these T side calls where this team, it just looks like it's very readable. Like once you get some sense of familiarity with your opponent here and some footing, you know how this team plays very quickly, and Ironblood's starting to get a grasp on that, especially after already playing a series up against this roster once before. And last season of playoffs, they get the rematch here and now. They know how Jota likes to call things out. They probably watched a couple demos or two as well heading into this matchup, knowing that MIBR 5 weeks off of a break here are very beatable.
And now we're back in the bomb side this time, trying to catch Shane off guard, but he gets a quick double. Another one on the Grail. Exit gets another trade back. We're sitting in a 3v3. But Droid's still sitting in the bottom of water and Snav up top. They've just halted, completely stopped in their tracks. Our MIBR trying to pull the ripcord back up to connector potentially. But the bomb's still laying on exit, so maybe just trying to sow some seeds of doubt into Ironblood here.
No.
But Droid, he's gotten all the information. He knows exactly what's coming.
Just strikes perfectly. Like Cobra's able to sneak on by there, and Droid has coverage for his teammate. It's just Exit left standing, and he's one of the lower HP bars left, as Droid just continues to be the one to buy so much time. This is the exact right duo that you would want in this situation. The experience and the firepower here. These two players, Exit's just going to get caught off guard as Dare. Playing alongside Droid, it's not going to let that one slip on by, and Ironblood, they continue what is a very clean sweep of this CT side, and finally we get to see Dare wield the op once again up against the lacking purchase of MIBR.
I mean, you could see those calls from spawn that potentially bits being given to Jota in these situations, but as soon as they have to mid round, it just feels like everything falls apart. Again, Ironblood just a little bit too better in terms of reacting to some of these plays. They're playing some very intelligent heads-up Counter-Strike that is just catching MIBR all out of sorts. It allows Ironblood to set the tempo, even in the situation that MIBR is the one that are on that offensive half that has the ability to do that. It still feels like they're playing Ironblood's game this time around.
Yeah, that's exactly where Ironblood want their opposition. That wasn't the case when these two teams were facing off initially.
Yeah, definitely.
So this turnaround has been so promising. This is an interesting buy, and also an even more interesting setup here from Ironblood. On almost an island here is Snav. In this off angle, he has very little support. And that flashbang, oh, it's just going to immediately blind him up, and the execution is there. BRN. That is something that you so desperately needed. Something to go your way early on, because this is when mid-round it becomes a whole lot easier for Jota. Yeah, we have an opening pick here. But the thing about this round right now is they might need to reroute here. Other opportunities might be arising as the rest of Ironblood have reinforced this A-bomb site.
Look at that gamble. I mean, they've left Shane all on B, and they've read this like a book. Turtle gets one back, but Dare, with the immediate slam dunk, Dare set up primed and ready with his AWP. And now we're back into another sticky situation for MIBR, where they really have just halted in their tracks. Nades coming through, utility primed and ready. Turtle gets another back in. More information garnered, but Shane pulling it back into another clutch situation for Jota. 8 seconds left on the clock. He's got to get this bomb down, Cole.
It's going to get denied. Shane just going to move on in. That's an easy kill for him. Jota, he's trying his very best, but this is another issue. MIBR sometimes leaving it a little bit too much up to the timer there. And again, I feel like they played that one right. Ironblood played it even better. Stacking over that B bomb site, making that gamble call. It's honestly classic MIBR fashion. If anyone should respect that, it has to be MIBR of all teams making those gamble calls when initial picks don't go their way. And, you know, taking a page right out of the book of the veterans here in MIBR, they were able to claim that round off of a big risk, but also Dare. You got to give him some credit here. He played that one to perfection on the bomb site, landing utility, and then getting out of dodge when he knows that things are starting to turn in their favor.
Yeah, that timing onto the long player was absolutely sublime. But more importantly, I think the aggression from Shane to push down into Monster, get all of that information was just so smartly timed. Like they had the picture perfect read there as soon as they aggressed down into Monster. And again, we've talked about it before. MIBR on the T sides have been very readable. Just a little bit of a maneuver on the B bomb side, and every little bit of the game plan is out the window. AK's out, AWP finally for Henny. We haven't seen that all too much in this half on the T side for that Brazilian veteran. And now they're just, look at this, confidence oozing out of this Ironblood squad. Trying to go aggressive in a short, but Joda, he still may get the last laugh with that opener on a short.
I really like the way he played that. When he got that kill and he gets out of dodge, it's very, very wise from Joda. Finding the opening advantage and making sure to stay alive here so that he can have further impact in the round, because again, you know, well, sometimes we do have some problems with his ability to call out some of these rounds. We never have issues with this guy's ability to pull things back. He definitely delivers on the T side with the way he rifles things out. It's fantastic, and they needed that. Again, if things aren't going your way earlier, maybe you just got to do it yourself.
Also put into roles that he necessarily hasn't been playing quite often before he was in IGL, more aggressive entry work, as opposed to the lurking that he built his career off of. And yet he's still trying to deliver, even dealt with the more difficult hand. 30 seconds on the clock, more time being rotted. And it's got to be this B play. That's all the space that they have left. But Snav gets a kill back.
He has a molly. Oh, this is going to be round determining. They've got 2 mollies left on the B site. This is only going to be 10 seconds left, and they haven't even left Monster just yet. The flashes are starting to come on in, but the rotations have already arrived onto the scene. They are getting stuck at the entrance. There's only 5 seconds left, and Shane starts to show his fangs here on the site. There's just not enough time to plant the bomb. MIBR, they get completely caught by the timer. Surprised by the utility that they still have on that B bomb site. I cannot believe it.
That is just crazy. You get the opening pick. You can't work out anywhere about where the CTs are located on the A bomb site, or even short instead. I mean, that is the risk that you run when you pull away from an opening pick instead of pushing the issue. And it just, there's just so little information for MIBR to deal with that they had to say, well, look, we've killed a B anchor. Maybe we just push the issue onto the B bomb site, but it's too late. They have no read on the number of Molotovs, number of smokes left up, and they get absolutely pantsed. 14th round for Ironblood. They're just so poised here to get their 8th. Look at the amount of utility that MIBR is left with at a minute 30 left on the clock here, Cole. 2 smokes and a single flashbang.
Yeah, and honestly, it was really interesting because last time that they found that very similar fashion of opening pick, they walked into the gambled bomb site. And again, they just walk into a bomb site that wasn't necessarily even that much of a gamble for Ironblood, but it turned out to work very well in their favor just because of the utility that they had left. I mean, MIBR running into very similar problems, but and they're even attempt to adapt to what Ironblood has been doing. And now they're trying to take a little page out of Ironblood's book, but they know how to deal with this. This is an insane boost, but at least there is a trade. BRN gonna trade things out, but the bomb has been spotted here.
And now's the time you gotta accelerate. You can't let Ironblood feel discomfortable. And instead they take a huge pause here. Look at this setup that's immediately being able to get sprung here. Dare with the AWP on truck, Droid on APC. This is gonna be deadly. What are they doing? I mean, they've got 30 seconds left here. They've gotta go.
Flash. Only 1 flash left there. There's just no way that they can pull this one across the line without some phenomenal sharpshooting. And again, it's going to be the mollies that just buy so much time. They're going to be executing in towards this A bomb site with 10 seconds. Joda lining up the last flashbang that he has. The only one to get them into this bomb site. But Dare ready takes his time with his first shot. They can't plant the bomb with him here. They can't plant the bomb at all because there's a molly on top of the site. They just can't get the job done. It's again the clock that haunts MIBR. Joda will haunt them with a few kills post-mortem, but he will also go down after time there.
And the AWP recovered for Shane. That was just an absolute offensive collapse from MIBR. I mean, even with the lack of utility there, that should be even more of a suggestion to just propel yourself on the A bomb site, trade effectively, get that bomb down. How many scenarios have we been sitting on the second half where MIBR can't even get into post-plant situations? That's your ripe opportunity back into this game. And now you're sitting at an incredible deficit. A Tech 9 for Exit, a Deagle for Joda, Mac 10 for Turtle. Not a single AK in play. And now they want to accelerate up to Banana, but Snab, he is so ready for it. Biera does get a trade back, but here comes the rotation. Look at this. A triple, maybe even a quad rotation here onto the A bomb site immediately.
The thing is right now, again, they took a lot of space in towards short in the early rounds, so recovering that space for MIBR is obviously going to require a lot of utility, a lot of clawing back of control here, so Ironblood can really afford some of this early gambling. Alongside that, they have a huge lead, so why wouldn't they make a couple of risks here to try and close out a game? Because MIBR, they haven't been doing too much faking as of recent. They're trusting an Intra to hold off this A bomb site as the rest of the team groups up towards the A side.
And look at that, the aggression into the Monster again. Vieira does get the opening though, immediately tries to pre-fire Shane, but Shane gets his vision back. 2v3 now, but another, the bomb, Dare gets a double, and now on for the triple as well. Joda in the 1v2 situation gets the Mac 10, upgrades the A1S, and he does have the bomb. How does Dare try to get his way back into this situation? Joda trying to wrap again. Or maybe just abscond back to the B bomb site. He does have a route on in. B bomb plant primed and ready. Only 9 seconds up, but a spot out from Dare. He's got all the information and he's waited all the way till 4 seconds to get it down. But here's the read. Drop down from Dare. This 1v1 all the marbles on Overpass.
Once you get behind this pillar though, things become a whole lot more easier. And then 3 position should be the deal sealer. No way that you would check this with the dualies long range. He spots them out. Only one more bullet to land it, and Dare. It's a fitting end right there for Ironblood to close out this map. Dare with a massive clutch to close, punishing MIBR for one last mistake. They do finish the job on Overpass.
The impact from Dare in this map of Overpass was absolutely pristine. I mean, impact kill after impact kill, clutch after clutch, multi-kill after multi-kill. This guy did it all for this squad. Obviously, the trading was very efficient from Ironblood, but you gotta tip your hat to Dare because he was definitely the stronger AWP in the server today. Henny became a non-factor.